Hello everybody, welcome to episode 183 of Show For You, where today we'll be going over self-titled Body of Work by Niko DeMille, the brand new album that I have been so desperately waiting for. Call You Mine has been my advice as I've been impatiently waiting for Orion, but it actually didn't end up being entitled Orion. And that's like I said, I've been really listening to Call You Mine a lot recently because I don't know, it's had me in a grasp, and I've just been recycling it, just waiting for this album to eventually drop, and it finally has, which was very surprising to me because we got a full 36-minute compilation of old music that Niko hadn't dropped in his 12V days, because it was 2023 to 2025, so that'd be 12V, and it was phenomenal. And then we get this album, literally the most hyped day of the year so far. Well, not of the year, but for music so far for me. But yeah, so this album, it is, I'm going to really divide it when I come into reviewing it by 4 categories. But yeah, so it does have 3 songs on it that are originally singles that we've heard before. So if you want more detail for those, you can just watch my previous videos, or you can do the best thing and go and listen to the songs yourself on Niko DeMille's channel. Obviously, it is entitled Niko DeMille. But yeah, so those 3 songs are Hard to Love, Quietly, and crap, what's the other one? Oh yeah, Birch. It's not actually entitled Birch though, it's the B curse word. I just can't say it, but yeah. So I guess I'll get into it. So yeah, like I said, I'm not going to be going over those 3 songs. I'll be going over the other 8 because there's 11 songs, and just kind of go over the general tone of all that, given my usual album review that I've done for Dysfunction by Saint and stuff like that. But yeah, so this album, just start off, best Niko DeMille or 12V album so far. I love this album because it took everything. It had the consistency of Vice and the experimental nature of Impatiently Waiting, and combined it to the creme de la creme right there. It was utterly glorious. I love this album. I've already listened to it twice now, and one of the big things that I'm excited for is it's coming to Spotify. Yes, finally more Niko DeMille stuff on Spotify, because I've been recycling OTW and Reset over and over and over again, and the other 12B stuff, obviously. But yeah, I'm so ready to have some new stuff on there, because I am a Spotify listener. Yeah, so actually into the album now. So I guess I'll go over my first category first. Now, my first category will be my favorite song lyrically. Now, my favorite song lyrically would probably be Live Leak, which is the, I believe, 3rd song on the album. I just really enjoyed it because it had some darker tones to it. Obviously, most Niko DeMille songs have some shadier elements to them. However, this one, specifically discussed self-harm. And it was just really interesting to get this introspective into this type of nature that we haven't much seen in Niko's other stuff, because we usually see Niko in his songs discussing himself as someone who's willing to sacrifice a lot, but also not willing to give up on themselves. One who's just absolutely on the grind, focused on being the greatest figure that he can be to achieve this famous nature that he's been searching for so long, and to acquire this, I guess, massive wealth eventually someday. And so it was really cool to see this different turn. I really liked it lyrically because, like I said, it was far different from other stuff we've seen, or at least stuff that we've seen published. But yeah, so then I'd say, then it comes to beat. My favorite beat would probably either be Nobody Does or Genuinely Why. Now, Nobody Does, I really like the beat because it's generally just a solid beat, and Nobody Does is just the first song of the album, and it's a great starting point. It is a phenomenal selection for the first song on this album because it just gets you into it going real quick, gets you into a nice, heavy pace, not heavy pace, but I guess more, not really generic, but more Niko DeMille sounding song before we get into the more experimental stuff. It's a nice, soft open. It coddles you before it throws you into the masterpiece that this album is. But yeah, so I really liked it, but also the beat for Genuinely Why. Now, I just really genuinely liked Genuinely Why because it was just a great song, and I love the lyrics, and I love the beat. And the beat honestly reminded me of an underwater level in Mario. I have no clue. I think it's Mario. I think I'm thinking of the right thing. It's the I think it's the Mario 64 underwater level. I don't know if I haven't played all of 64 because I'm not a fan of 64 personally. I know you can burn me at the stake for that, but I'm just not a massive fan. It's not my favorite 3D of the original 3. I'd probably say Galaxy is, but yeah. So, back into the topic. So, yeah, both those beats were just really good. Now, yes, they are, like I said, more, I guess, common Niko DeMille beats, but I really enjoy them. I really, really enjoy that type of beat, so it was very appealing to me. But yeah, so then I guess I'll kind of discuss some of the other songs that had different beats. So we did get to see multiple songs that almost had a country sounding beat in a way. Now personally, I am not a massive fan of country. If I'm gonna listen to country, well, I never really go out of my way to listen to country, but I'll listen to an old ballad, like a Marty Robbins ballad or something like that. But besides that, I don't much go on my way to listen to country. Now, I do respect some country artists. Like, I believe Chris Stapleton's the most, I guess, decent out of the modern country artists. Now, some of these songs could have leaned more toward modern country sound. However, they didn't go overboard on it. Now, the one that did go overboard on it, I will discuss later. We're not overboard necessarily, but the furthest toward it, I'll discuss later. But, like, there were some songs, like Somebody, I believe it's Somebody to Hold, and it's the second song on the album. And it was really good. Like, I genuinely liked it. It made me like the sound. I like acoustic guitars. I like the sound of an acoustic guitar. Oh my goodness, acoustic guitar. But sometimes I feel like as if it can be of a detriment to certain vocals. However, Niko's vocals are fitting for any instrument or sound. So I really loved seeing it here with him, and it worked out absolutely well. But then we get on to the second one. Now, this second song, well, not the second song, but this second one that had more of almost a country sound to it is Fool's Gold. Fool's Gold was my least favorite song on the entire album. That's not to say it's bad, though. It's genuinely still a likable song. Like, this entire album is phenomenal. It doesn't have a miss on it. Just Fool's Gold is the least out of many monoliths, colossus of songs. But yeah, so like I said, though I'm from down yonder where we grow our crop and drink our Bud Light, but I still am not massive on the sound of country music, so, and I feel like this one went pretty deep into that sound. However, it didn't do it to its detriment. Like I said, Niko is still very fitting for this sound because he's fitting for any sound, and it worked out, though it was just personally my least favorite on the album. Because, I mean, everything has to have a least favorite, so if I had to pick one, it must certainly be Fool's Gold, personally. But yeah, so then we actually go on to like a couple more songs. We do have, I believe Fool's Gold was 8 or 9, and then 10 is Father's Son, because no, it's 9 because 8 is God's Image or Made in God's Image. And I know it discusses being made in God's image. It's a really good song as well. It's just one of the lesser ones that I didn't really have much to discuss about. But yeah, so then 10 is Father's Son, which is really just a good song and discusses kind of the more personal life of Niko rather than focusing on like a extra familial relationship. But yeah, so that one was really good as well. And then we get on to my personal favorite out of the new songs on this album, which is Orion. I loved Orion. Orion had a very nice slow beat to it, because we got to hear part of it in Orion album, which was the previous little like skit thing. Also, I forgot to mention that those little ones, I was right. They are little pieces of complete songs, because nobody does had one of those little pieces in it. I can't remember what the title of that one was specifically. I think it might have been I don't remember the actual name of that one, but Orion album was just part of the larger Orion song. And the larger Orion song is like a 3-minute song, and it is great. I absolutely loved it. It probably would honestly compete with Lively lyrically for my favorite song. And I love the beat of it. Like I said, it's so fitting for the vocals and the lyrics. And I really like, there's this one point where Niko's like expressing how his woman is in fact his. And he releases like this guttural vocal. It's not necessarily guttural, but it's commanding. It's diminutive. It's like, no, it is confrontational almost. And it really reminded me of some like high quality voice acting you'll hear in like some animes and stuff like that. Like, it had power to it. I really, really enjoyed that. But yeah, so I would absolutely say that Orion was my favorite new song on the album. Now, personally, I think if I were to pick out of every song, including the previous singles, that Quietly would still be my favorite song on this album, because I genuinely just love Quietly. I believe it's a masterpiece of a song. The visual was great when it first dropped, and it's just utterly grand. I love Quietly. I especially love the chorus of it and everything. But also, if it were to come down to lyrics too, I would possibly put Birch amongst the running with Orion and Live Leak, because Birch, there's this one line, it's actually the last couple lines, it's your mother blanking loves me. I had you sober for a month, but you still cheated on me because he gave you all of his drugs. I just don't know. I like that line so much because it's so powerful after hearing the story that Birch conveys to you. So, like, yeah, I absolutely love that song as well. Every song on this album, like I said, is great. Like, Hard to Love, it's a great beat, too. Like, every song on this album hits. It does not miss. And hey, I guess that's a commonality with songs that are self-titled. I know this one technically isn't self-titled because it's self-titled body of work, so it is not specifically called Niko DeMille. It's called self-titled body of work. But like, hey, Slipknot did it best on self-titled. System of a Down did it best on self-titled. Godsmack did it best on self-titled. Cardi did not, sadly, because I personally think Dial-In is his best album. But hey, it's quite a commonality there with doing really good on self-titled. I mean, heck, Alice in Chains' self-titled was phenomenal as well. But yeah, so with all of that being said, I guess I'll kind of just discuss generally about the album. Like, oh my gosh, I was so hyped for this, and it generally made my day when I saw the album drop. I was so excited. I legit popped both of my AirPods in as fast as I could, listen to the whole thing, and I was floating, essentially. I was playing Age of Imprisonment right now, or Hyrule Warriors Age of Imprisonment, just sitting there, kind of turning my brain off, listening to this music, because you can turn your brain off when you play Age of Imprisonment, because there's nothing complex going on there. And it was just so utterly enjoyable. Like I said, it was euphoric. So I would highly recommend listening to this album. And also, Niko revealed that it, in fact, will be on every streaming service. I'm presuming it'll be like Apple Music, YouTube Music, obviously, and Spotify. So if you don't listen to it on YouTube itself, it'll be on one of your streaming services by the end of this week. So I highly recommend going and listen to it, because it is great and it needs to be supported, because this is stupendous. This is Niko's best work of cumulative art so far, and I believe it should be treated as such, because it most certainly deserves it. It has earned that merit. But yeah, so I kind of wanted to discuss some like general thoughts I've been having about Niko recently, and one of them is I wish that he would release like physical media of his albums. Cause I know he doesn't have the funds to do it, but like one day when he does, because I know he inevitably will blow up, because he has the utter capacity to. And when you make stuff like this, you cannot not blow up. It's too volatile. It's like putting some, whatchamacallit, nitroglycerin beside an open flame or something like that. Like, it's going to blow up eventually. So, like, yeah, I cannot wait until it does, because I would love to see him release physical media, not really volumizations, but, like, distributions of his albums, because I would buy those up in a heartbeat, because I have a CD collection myself. My car doesn't have a CD player, but I have a CD collection because I just like physical media and I love music. So I would absolutely buy an album, like a CD from him, in a heartbeat. Heck, I'd buy a cassette and a vinyl too. I don't have a cassette player nor a record player, but I would buy them both, because I love the music and I love the artist. Because bro is genuinely probably my favorite artist of this year. But yeah, so I cannot wait until one day when we can possibly get physical media from Niko DeMille. And one thing I was also thinking about is I pray whenever bro does eventually do a show that it may be in North Carolina, because hey, bro's been enjoying it over there right now, and it's closer to my area, so hey, I would go there in a heartbeat. I would absolutely eat that up. But yeah, that's just kind of some fanboy stuff going on there that I want to discuss with y'all generally. But yeah, like I said, this album, you need to check it out. I highly implore you. He's a small artist, and he needs the support, because if you check this out and you don't like it, I think you might just not like music. But yeah, so that's all there really is to say about self-titled body of work by Niko DeMille. That's all I really have for episode 183 of Shelf Review. So thank you very much for watching.